The little boy's meeting with God. There once was a little boy who wanted to meet God. He knew it was a long trip to where God lived, so he packed his suitcase with cookies, and a 6-pack of root beer and started his journey. When he had gone about 3 blocks, he met an old woman. She was sitting in the park just staring at some pigeons. The boy sat down next to her and opened his suitcase. He was about to take a drink from his root beer when he noticed that the old lady looked hungry, so he offered her a cookie. She gratefully accepted it and smiled at him. Her smile was so pretty that the boy wanted to see it again, so he offered her a root beer. Once again, she smiled at him. The boy was delighted. They sat there all afternoon eating and smiling, but they never said a word. As it grew dark, the boy realized how tired he was, and he got up to leave, but, before he had gone more than a few steps, he turned around, ran back to the old woman and gave her a hug. She gave him her biggest smile ever. When the boy opened the door to his own house a short time later, his mother was surprised by the look of joy on his face. She asked him, "What did you do today that made you so happy?" He replied, "I had lunch with God." But, before his mother could respond, he added, "You know what? She's got the most beautiful smile I've ever seen." Meanwhile, the old woman, also radiant with joy, returned to her home. Her son was stunned by the look of peace on her face and he asked, "Mother, what did you do today that made you so happy?" She replied, "I ate cookies in the park with God." But, before her son responded, she added, "You know, he's much younger than I expected." Moral of the story: God is everywhere. We just need to share our happiness and make others smile to feel Him.
The magical sticks. A rich merchant had many servants in his house. One day the merchant's wife's beloved necklace disappeared from her vault. Gradually, precious things in the house started disappearing one by one. The merchant was troubled by the thief in his house. He suspected one of his many servants to be the thief. But it was very difficult to identify and catch the thief among all the other servants in his huge house. The troubled merchant contacted his wise friend Birbal about the recent incidents. After listening to the merchant, Birbal agreed to help the merchant and went to his house. Birbal summoned all the merchant's servants and started interrogating them one by one. He received nothing but absolute denial from every single one of them. An idea then struck Birbal. He handed over a stick to every servant, all of the same length. He told them that the stick was magical, and the stick of the thief would grow by 2 inches the next day. The servants were ordered to present the stick to Birbal the next day. The next day, as ordered, the servants assembled at the merchant's house with their sticks. As Birbal examined each stick, he noticed that one of the servants was holding a stick that was 2 inches shorter. Birbal said, "This is your thief, merchant," pointing at the servant. When the merchant asked Birbal to reason his accusation, he said, "Honest men never feared about the growth of their stick." The thief had already cut his stick shorter by 2 inches. Fearing that his stick will be long by 2 inches next morning. Moral of the story: the most free person in the world is the one who has nothing to hide.
If you like our video, please comment below. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel.